Once again, ladies and gentlemen, you are connected to Atlantic International University with a new symposium on the topic of innovation for achieving sustainable development. And at this time, we have another very well-renowned presenter, Miss Audrey Mwala from Malawi. She's the founder and managing director of Sycamore Consult Company Limited. And very welcome, Miss Mwala.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll be making my presentation and allow me to share my screen.
Yes.
Are you able to? Are you able to share the screen? There, yeah, we see it uploading now. Perfect.
Yes, I'm able to share my screen. Can you see?
Ms. Audrey Mwala, will you explain a little bit about what your company does?
Yes. I just wanted to. All right. Yes, my name is Audrey Mwala. I'm a founder of a company called Sycamore Consult Limited. This is a training and consulting company in Malawi, and it provides trainings to corporate entities, but also to individuals in the areas of general skills that are required in an organization to do with management and overall day-to-day skills for employees to do the job in the areas of technical skills which they need. I also, under this same company, we also provide other trainings on individuals which are in the area of personal finance literacy. This is on the realization that we have a lot of people that are not financially literate, that are capable of running their entities very well, but they struggle when it comes to managing their own personal finances. And as a result, they end up living a life where they are struggling to survive if they lost their job or if they had to go for retirement. So we look at both sides of capacity building, where we are building employee skills for managerial or technical skills like finance or Microsoft Excel, but also we also look at the individual in terms of their skills in managing their own personal finances. Over and above that, I also founded another company where we provide credit facilities for employees as well as people that are doing business. And we also service the low end of the market where people are doing various businesses in the markets. So this is the background of our company, and allow me to go through the presentation with regard to this topic of innovation for sustainable development, in which we'll be sharing the 6 sustainable development goals where our company has been able to contribute as part of the innovation. So we are looking at the SDGs, which I will start with number 1, which is no poverty. SDG 4 for education, 5 for gender equality, 8 for decent work, 9 for industry and innovation and infrastructure, and then 17 for partnerships. This is where our 2 companies and I myself as the founder of the 2 are contributing to achievement of these SDGs. So we are going to look at what triggered us to look at the areas that we are looking at in contributing to the SDGs. And we've noted the increasing levels of poverty, where a lot of people are living below the poverty line, and they are struggling to make ends meet with increasing prices that are affecting our countries, and the world at large. But we are also looking at the other area where infrastructure demands the rate at which citizens of infrastructure of any country are demanding infrastructure at a pace that is fast compared to the ability of different governments to cope, including our own government where I live in Malawi. There is also another challenge with regard to the aspect of women, where they are taking a back role in terms of I don't know if you are still able to see my screen. Are you able to see it?
Oh, yes, we can definitely see your screen.
Are you? Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, so in terms of economic development, a lot of women, they sort of don't come out in front due to various issues, tradition being one of them. So in answer to those, the innovation here is establishment of the two entities that are tackling some of the SDGs, especially the 6 that we highlighted earlier on. So Sycamore Consult, as I indicated earlier, was established as a training and consulting company, and it was founded in 2017. But at the same time, there is also Sycamore Credit Limited, which is a microfinance company. All these are Malawian owned. And in terms of contribution to the role of women in taking up leading roles, we have Consult, a company that was founded by a woman, but it is also 100% owned by women. So there are 2 other women that are shareholders in this company. And we also have the company which is in the credit business that was also founded by a woman, and it is 66% owned by women. So in terms of the innovation itself, when we look at what we are doing in the area of literacy, we have come up with personal finance. This is personal finance literacy, as you agree. It is beyond the school curriculum, because a lot of information that is provided in school only covers the aspects of helping employees or helping the students to become good employees and assist their organization. But the personal side of it is not really covered in school as part of the normal curriculum. Actually, you notice that even people that are highly educated, including even the professors and including the professor of finance, if you look at their personal finance life, they are struggling, and yet they are a professor in finance. So the idea of personal finance literacy is to make people understand the principles of managing personal finances, so that they are not only able to take care of the corporate finances where they are working, but they are also able to take care of their own personal finances. And our curriculum also covers mindset change, where we challenge people to think bigger and to think possibilities, and to know that it is possible to create great entities through their own initiative. So we actually challenge people through the various topics that we teach here to get them to a level where they are not just thinking about survival, but they are thinking about thriving and serious growth. Our personal finance literacy trainings help people to think strategically, to understand financial awareness, the discipline, the mindset, wealth creation. We teach them how they can manage debt and how they can utilize debt for wealth creation, and how they can develop the ability to save and invest and plan for their retirement. So through these trainings, we get to a point where our participants are no longer just thinking about mere survival, but they are thinking big. Just for instance, attending just a general personal finance training may probably just teach you to improve how you keep your resources. But here we teach you how to multiply and grow more resources. We don't just teach people how to aim for a promotion in an organization. For example, maybe you are working for a bank. Our curriculum is not just for you to be aiming to become the CEO of the bank, but we teach them to start thinking strategically on how they can create a bank themselves, where now, instead of thinking of simply climbing the corporate ladder, they should be thinking of creating the corporate ladder that will allow other people to climb. In addition to that, we also have another set of innovation contribution, which is the public-private partnership, consultancies, and training. I talked about infrastructure as an area which is a problem because of the increasing demand, and there is a realization that it is very difficult for governments to cope with that demand, and hence the need to bring in private sector in infrastructure development. So I am a certified public-private partnership specialist, besides being a chartered accountant and also a personal finance expert. But I am also a public-private partnership specialist and a project finance, and also a certified project finance specialist. And this is where we look at public-private partnerships in terms of providing consultancy services in project preparation and project structuring and project financing, as well as training that comes with public-private partnerships to equip people with skills on how to understand public-private partnerships. So government alone cannot afford to provide the necessary infrastructure, and involving private sector is one area where we believe that it will help in terms of contributing to the infrastructure development. This answers to the SDG 17, where we are going to taking a role in bringing the public and the private together through structuring public-private partnership arrangements. And in addition to that, as Sycamore Consult, we also believe in private-private partnerships, where as a company, we have also entered into different partnership arrangements with different parties in Malawi and outside the country, where we provide our services together as partners. And not only that, the company itself, actually the two companies that we've talked about are not just sole proprietors, but they are companies where partnerships have been brought in as a necessary ingredient for growth. So this is where we are in terms of infrastructure development and also public-private partnerships. In addition, we are also providing corporate trainings, which are helpful in terms of our ability to contribute to literacy. So our literacy is not just about personal finance, but also the corporate trainings, where we provide capacity buildings and skills for board of directors, management, and their members of staff for them to be able to deliver their job properly. We also have the aspect of assisting to alleviate poverty, which is SDG 1, which is financial inclusion, by providing credit to lower end of the market. We have people that would not have been able to access credit facilities that come to get credit facilities from us because of the credit facilities that we provide to them. We also have a facility where we provide credit facilities to micro entrepreneurs. These are group loans as well as the individual loans for entrepreneurs. So all these are answering to SDG number 1, where we are working on ending poverty by providing the skills for people to provide, to be able to have capital for their businesses. We also provide consultancy services and capacity building as part of the answering the SDGs for building literacy. So coming to the summary of it, I suppose you are still able to see my screen. I don't know which one can you see? Can you just confirm?
We are now looking at innovative solutions, consultancy, capacity building.
Okay. Which one? Can you see this one?
Yes, we have SDG 1, 4,
right. Yes.
and 8.
Yes. Okay. So I think this is where we are now.
Yes.
So to look at the initiatives that we are doing, as I indicated, they are contributing to 6 sustainable development goals, which is ending poverty through personal finance literacy. And we believe that if people can understand that money has got some principles that have to be followed, then they'll be able to handle it in a way that the money is going to multiply. And we also have established investment clubs to encourage people to learn how to save and invest and to think long-term, because our observation is that a lot of people fail to make progress in their finances because they think short-term. The other SDG is where we are providing education, and the SDG 4, the personal finance literacy trainings that we provide are actually part of answering the education, the public-private partnerships training that we provide, including the corporate trainings. Actually, as I'm talking right now, we've just finished one training where we are training our power company, ESCOM, on management and supervisory skills. And we also provide contribution to SDG 8, which is decent work and economic growth. And in that way, we are offering the education where we are providing people with skills to think strategically, to be financially aware. The whole financial literacy training that we are talking about here is aimed at contributing to economic development, because as you know that the wealth of any country is the total sum of the wealth of its individuals and the companies that are there. So we believe that if we can make the individuals to create wealth, then we're going to create wealthy nations. A country that has got poor individuals is summed up as a poor country. So while government is making its efforts to contribute to develop wealth at the country level, we've come down to help individuals to develop wealth as individuals. And we believe that that can have an effect of contributing to government. And we have workers in both companies. Actually, we employ about 25 members of staff, and that's our contribution to providing work for various individuals. I'm slowing down a little bit because there's something that's happening on my screen. It looks like it keeps changing. So that's why I'm slowing down a bit, but I will continue with the last but one slide. In terms of gender equality, I talked already that
Ms. Audrey Mwala, on our end, what we hear, we see everything perfect and we hear you perfectly. There's a little distortion in the sound, but we can still understand everything you're saying.
Oh, okay. Okay, the sound is probably the vehicles passing. So maybe the problem is just on my side. All right, so in terms of the gender equality, as I indicated, that we have a women-owned business called Sycamore Consult, and the other one, there's just one man who is part of the shareholders, but then we have two women in there, including myself. We also are contributing to industry innovation and infrastructure development through the public-private partnership consultancy assignments that we are handling and we are bidding for. And as I said, I'm actually a certified PPP specialist. We are also contributing to partnerships through the public-private partnerships that we are involved in, and also contributing to we are also contributing to the partnerships through the partnerships that we have in the company ourselves as partners. So when you look at the areas where we have the 6 SDGs that we are looking at as an organization, we are focusing on those 6, and we believe that our efforts, if they continue going on, we are going to end up with a world where we have made a difference. Just speaking for our country, Malawi at the moment, we have 50% of the population living below the poverty line, and I believe that the efforts that we are doing will lift up some people from this poverty line and help that we can now have a better country. I will stop there, as I thank you so much for your time and for your attention.
I love it. I truly love it, Ms. Mwala, a presentation that is really up to any world level, so to speak. That was again Ms. Audrey Mwala from Malawi. She is the founder and managing director of Sycamore Consult Company Limited, and she was telling us about the extent that she is doing her part. She and her institution are doing their part when it comes to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. There are 6 of them that Ms. Audrey mentioned and emphasized. Numbers 1, 4, 5, 8, 9, and 14. I don't need to go through all of them again. I'm certain that every participant was paying close attention to every single detail provided by Ms. Audrey, and you must be now, like me, ready to ask questions and know a little bit more. And to that end, we are going to turn the floor first to Suhair Abrik Majed. Suhair. Suhail Abrik, please unmute your microphone, and we are now all ears listening to your question or comment. Apparently, Suhail doesn't seem to be quite ready as of yet. So we are going to LC Kumar. LC, your turn. Maybe Dr. Lambert, you might have turned all microphones
Okay.
off.
No, it's
Hello,
working.
hello.
We have LC right now. Go ahead, LC.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to ask with regards to education, I wanted to know what age range with regards to women that they give the financial education to. I'm asking this because I'm of a different school of thought that thinks, that believes that the earlier you catch, they say the earlier you catch them, the better. So I'm wondering whether children, maybe girls around maybe in the adolescent, are also given that kind of education with regards to financial education about learning how to save and etc. And then in addition, I wanted to find out if she has any photos on those various projects that she's done. We'll be glad if she shares them with us. That is, if she has it. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Ms. Mwala.
Can I have more questions so that I can answer maybe 2 or 3 at the same time?
Okay, you did take note of LC's question, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so before Ms. Audrey Mwala answer LC's question, she's asking for more questions so that she can tackle more simultaneously. Ms. Tura Shitugiwa, do you have a question? Ms. Tura?
Yes, good day, everybody over there. In Nigeria, we are almost towards evening. I want to commend our guest lecturer for a wonderful presentation. And I hope you can hear me loud and clear.
Yes.
I also want to commend AIU for their wonderful programs. I am proud to be a student of AIU. And when you talk about online education, I think AIU is doing wonderfully well because our tutors are always at our neck. The monitoring, the encouragement, the assignments, they are something that one should be proud of. Well done, AIU. More
Thank you very, very much, Giwa. I know, Ms. Mwala, you lost a little bit of...
to your elbow. Talking about, I want to admit that they are human beings on their own, that they can do wonderfully well without trying to compete in the male world. Thank you. God bless you.
Okay. Your responses, Ms. Mwala?
Thank you very much. I don't know if you are able to see my screen.
You can see your screen right now.
Yeah,
I can see.
Are you able to see the screen?
Yes.
I'm able to see.
Yes, can.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
okay. All right. So this is our website. So we do quite a number of trainings, and I was just showing you just a picture. So this one, we were doing a training on financial modeling. So this is me actually trying to help one of the students in financial modeling. This is another training that we are doing, we were doing on management and supervisory skills. And no, this one was Microsoft Excel. And then this one, we're doing management and the supervisory skills. But there are more that I can share you. I think maybe before I close, I might be able to open a little more, but we do trainings all the time. As I'm saying, even right now, we are already doing that. Besides that, in terms of the question that you've asked on the people that the youth, yes, we do target the youth, and I hope I can quickly find a picture where I was in Zambia and I was talking to 14,000 people at Hero Stadium. And there we were talking about entrepreneurship and talking about how the youth can develop financial skills. So we also do here in Malawi as well, the same kind of trainings where our trainings are open, so we advertise, and whoever comes, we are able to do it, to give them the training. As I'm talking right now, we have just put up another advert. We have a training that's coming in August. This is a wealth creation conference, which is open to everybody, including the youth. So there's no, we don't really target that we are targeting women or we are targeting, but we just advertise, and oftentimes people just come so we just deal with the people that have come. So that's what I can say. But yes, we've got a lot of youth that we have helped.
I guess, yes. Thank you very much, Ms. Mwala. The next participant responds to the name of Jacob Oyugi. Jacob.
Hello. Hello.
Are you ready for your question, Jacob?
Hello.
Jacob,
Can I be heard?
Yes.
Yes, I'm. Yes,
Yes.
thank you. I want to join my colleagues to comment Ms. Mwala for the presentation. The question I have is, I've seen about gender equality. She's talking about 100% women-owned. I don't understand what that one means. Because if we are talking about gender equality, I would have seen balance in the ownership, both male and female. Now they're saying 100% owned. Where are the male counterparts? I seek clarification on that. Thank you.
Ms. Mwala.
All right. What I am saying is that the company is owned by 3 women, and in terms of the men, they are represented at the board level. I think, as you can see down there, that's our board members. So I think the board, we have some men, but in terms of the actual ownership of the company itself, it is women. That's the training side. But then the consulting side, that's the training side. But then the microfinance side, we have 1 man in there. So that's the balance that we have. But I think the point that I want to bring up across in terms of the gender, you will notice that when I talked about the problem, I talked about women not coming up to take up some of these challenging roles. And the idea for us is to also see more women to take up in order to have a lot of women on the table. I must say that I sit in several boards, and oftentimes I'm either the only woman or one other woman. So sometimes you see that more or less what I would say natural imbalance, where now bringing in additional women to the table helps to bridge that gap.
I guess that is very clear enough, at least for me, and I hope the participant who asked that question is also fairly satisfied. Zachary, you have a question for us, or for Ms. Mwala?
Yes, thank you for the opportunity. Can you hear me?
Very well.
Yes, this is my first time of joining such a wonderful meeting and conference. I would like to comment on the presenter for a very wonderful presentation. My name is Bukari Zachary. I'm in Ghana, and I work in the northern part of Ghana, where I think I have similar circumstances as the presenter pointed out. A lot of poverty among the population, especially the women. So I think it's a very wonderful presentation. My question is, how is the credit facility, SDG 1, the payback? What arrangement is there? What is the interest rate of this credit facility? Because the experience in Ghana is that at the end of the day, the interest rate is so high that they struggle to pay back. And at the end of the day, they have to go and borrow monies to pay back the credit facility. That pushed them further under the poverty line. So I want the presenter to tell us what is the credit facility, I mean the interest rate, and how is the arrangement for payment? Assuming your customers cannot pay, what are the, I mean, you know, what are the facilities to get them out of the problems? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. You have an answer, right, Ms. Audrey?
Yeah, yes, in terms of the credit, maybe before I answer the question, I must say that we have facilities that can be accessed, first of all, from bank. If one is able to access a facility from the bank, they are definitely encouraged to go and do that. The bank credit facilities are very low, which everybody can go and get. But what we noted in the market is that there are some clients that are high risk, and there are some clients that are extremely expensive to have on your books, which are now rejected by the banks. The banks don't want to touch them, and as a result, they struggle because they don't know where to go. And where they go to microfinance institutions. So with microfinance institutions like ourselves, now we take on those clients, but knowing very well that we are taking very, very high clients who ideally are likely to default because of their character. That's why the bank said no. But on the other hand, they are going to default because the kind of business which they run is not easy to sustain. So our rates are high compared to banks because our transaction costs are very high. For instance, if you, just for example, if you look at a bank can give a loan of say $1,000 to one client. But sometimes for us at microfinance, it takes 10 clients to have a loan of $1,000. As you can see, there's already paperwork a lot. There's also a lot of traffic back and forth to get to the client to approvals. And that adds up to the cost of a microfinance. And let alone, you're dealing with a client that was refused a credit facility from the bank, did not have the right collateral. So you're already exposed to that kind of risk in the first place. So I wanted to just say anybody, what we encourage people is that anybody who can afford to go to the bank, not afford, they have to make a choice between having no resources or having resources from a microfinance institution, which is not going to be cheaper than the bank. So it is very true that in microfinance, the interest rates are high compared to the bank, but the results are because the defaults are very high compared to banks, and at the same time, the transaction costs are equally very high. The event that the client has defaulted, we put arrangements for collateral, and where we can manage, we possess collateral. There are many cases cases where to even realize that collateral, and we end up losing on those clients. So that's what I can say. And in terms of the rate, I think you wanted to know, our interest rates are regulated by the Bank of Malawi. So our interest rates are 4.5% per month, but we charge other charges like interest as well as administrative fee on top. So on top, up to about 11% per month.
Thank you, Ms. Mwala. As a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, you are with Atlantic International University in the New World Symposium on the topic of innovation for achieving sustainable development. For those of you who might not be quite aware of that, we, AIU, are at the forefront of everything that relates to technology. We are a pioneer of distance education, online education, which is the reason why we are so engaged into innovation for achieving sustainable development, the topic of today's symposium. Let's now go to, I see so many other hands up. Let's try Desiree, Julia, Bawu, Dahre. If you have a question or comment, Desiree.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I have just 2 questions. Thank you, Ms. Mwala. That was brilliant, very inspiring. 2 questions. One, do you mind sharing who your partners are as you do this project? The second one, how do you measure impact of everything you're doing since 2017? How do you measure impact? Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Miss.
All right. Okay, so I think I was just, okay, so maybe I was just thinking again about the question that we talked about earlier. I don't know if you can see the screen. So if you see the people that are here are mostly the youth. So this is the conference that I was talking about, that we were providing the tips. I hope I can find my picture easily. Yeah, that's my picture there, where we were talking about that group. All right, coming back to your question, how do you measure impact? That was the question, right?
Desiree, do you agree that's
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the question. Yes, it is. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Did you have one question or two questions? I remember the issue of impact, but was that the only one?
And I also said, if you don't mind sharing who your partners are currently.
Okay, I see. Well, if you are interested, if you are interested to know them, I don't know why, but one of the partners, it's interesting actually. One of my partners in the funding company is somebody that I have known from our high school. So we used to be very close friends in high school. Then we also went to the same university and we were roommates. And afterwards we went to also study. I was doing our chartered accountant. We studied together. We are very close friends and we ended up becoming partners in this business. So her name is Chris. She lives in South Africa. The other partner is the CEO of one of the banks in Malawi. Her name is Zandile. She's Zimbabwean. She's someone that I just knew through the business meetings. I haven't known her much, but I must say that she surprised me when she said, I'm going to invest in your company. Because I think the first one at least knows me, and she knew that if she gave me money, there's no way I can misuse it. But this other person is someone that I don't know much about her, but she just decided to give me millions of local kwachas to invest in the company. So those are the two shareholders. The other one, the microfinance, the other partner is the deputy Chief Secretary of Malawi. Of course, when she was joining, she was the Solicitor General in Malawi. And the other one, so her name is Janet Banda, and the other one is from, okay, he's a Malawian, the man, he's a Malawian, but he lives in America. His name is Albert Kadzako. Those are my partners. In terms of measuring impact, I must say that we haven't come up to seriously come up with a system of measuring the impact of what we are doing. So what I can report would be isolated cases where we have come across somebody that has come to give us results of what has happened. For example, there's one lady who came to my office and almost in tears and didn't know what to do, and telling me her husband has just lost a job and she doesn't know what to do, and she's worried that their pension money may not be used properly. So I sat down with her to give her a plan on how she can manage her funds, what she can do. And this is a lady that I met 2 years later, smiling, telling me that, Mrs. Mwala, I did everything that you told me. I invested in this, and this is where I am. I even forgot what I had told her, but she said she's now happy, she's successful because of the advice that she got. So a lot of feedback from individuals that come to say, okay, well, I'm so glad I attended your conference. From there, I have been able to clear my debts because of the advice that you gave us on your debt management strategy. Somebody will come and tell us, well, my business has improved. We've been able to improve this. In terms of the trainings, we train one company, then they'll call us again and they'll give us feedback that people have changed completely from the training that you gave us on customer service. From this, so this that kind of feedback. Unfortunately, we've been busy training people, and we haven't had time to go and now say what is the impact of what we are doing. So that's what I would say for now.
That's a very, very excellent way, Ms. Audrey, of crossing the line between the word and the action. I very highly commend you for that. Maybe Emmanuel Kobolo, Emmanuel Kiboko Obura has a different type of question. So the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Franklin and Dr. Lambert and Ms. Mwala. She has been very outstanding to me, very vocal, very good lady. I wish I could emulate her and get some hints from her. Now, the question that I would like for her to enlighten me about is, what are the challenges is she meeting as she's going on with this consult? And then how is she going about them? And lastly, because other questions have already been answered by her, what is the future for this consult? Is there something that she thinks will, in the next 10 years or so years, what does she look at in the future? Thank you very much. This is Dr. Emmanuel Kiboko from Kenya, a public health specialist in IAU, International University Atlantic.
Thank you very much, Dr. Obura. Ms. Mwala?
He is asking about challenges that I am meeting, and what I would say is that you know, every time before I started full-time entrepreneurship, I used to encourage people to do entrepreneurship until I went into it. Then I looked again and I said, oh, what have I gotten myself into? What I want to say is that if you want a life where you have no stress, a life where you are having a good salary and you are able to take your children to the lake, to holidays, good life where people are celebrating you because you've been promoted. You know, for me, I believe that an easy life is to get a job. So when you have a job, you live a good life, and you can also save money, and you'll be able to have enough. When you retire, you have a good life. You'll be able to take care of yourself and your family. So I think that's what I would say, that if what you want is a good life, then get a job, work very hard, and seek for a promotion, have a good life while you are working, and you also have a good life when you retire. I think that's what I would say. But the other aspect is that what you want, if what you want is to have a life of impact, life that is going to live after you're gone, a life that will make a difference in other people's lives, a life where you are not thinking about yourself, but you're thinking about other people like your employees, a life where you contribute to the economy of the country, then that life is the entrepreneurship life, but it's not easy. It is so hard. It is a life where you have to go with faith, with determination, life where you have to endure, a life where you have to learn how to have faith where it's very dark. And it is a life that is bigger than self. If you want to focus on employment, you are thinking about dinner on the table. But if you want to become an entrepreneur, in fact, you start thinking about other people.
Okay.
First of all, you want to think about, do I have money for my employees? In fact, if that month money has not come enough, you would rather be the one that doesn't have a salary that month, and your employees should get paid first. That's the life. And what I can say is that entrepreneurship is extremely very, very difficult, and it's not for the faint-hearted. And it is extremely difficult that when you are going there, you better have a plan. And for me, I look at 3 levels. You need plan 1, and you need to have a backup that if your plan doesn't work, how do you support yourself and you're still able to go on with entrepreneurship? And you need to also have a backup to the backup, because the backup is going to collapse as well. So you need another backup, that in the event that the backup has collapsed, what is the backup to my backup? So what I would say in terms of entrepreneurship, it is extremely difficult. And don't go there if you're not ready. But the only thing, if you want to remain as an employee, then you will live a life where at the end of your life, your life ends there. But as an entrepreneur, your life will be bigger than the physical life that you have here when you die. And you'll be able to make a difference. You'll be able to give employment to people, and you'll be able to impact people. What challenges did I find? I have found challenges where, for instance, you are looking for clients. It is difficult. You should imagine during the COVID era, where people are sick, people are dying, and you're telling people, come for training. Who wants to come for training in COVID? But we had to endure and become innovative, and we had to learn how to use Zoom. At that time, I had not even touched Zoom, but I had to become an expert to learn it quickly and convince people that yes, you are sick, but try to still be on the training. And it is not easy, but we were able to do it until now. It is very, very difficult to. The challenges we have are to do with the uncertainty. With an entrepreneur, you're not sure where your bread is going to come from. But interestingly, you look back and you say, but we've come this far. We've never slept on an empty tummy. It means there is hope, and you see a lot of miracles. So entrepreneurship for me is a journey of faith, miracles, and determination. And if you persist, the reward is great. And the good thing about entrepreneurship is that you always look at people that are successful entrepreneurs. All of them have got a story. The story is the same. They all went through problems. And that's what keeps me going, to know that this is just a path, and it is normal. There is no success without challenges. You always have challenges. So that's what we are going through at the moment. So right now we go through problems, and it works eventually. Sometimes we get a surprise to see that you have, you know, there are times when you'll be having very, very few clients. Sometimes you have a client that just comes, okay, we have a training, the bill is $30,000, and you said, wow, that sounds nice. Yeah, so it's very, very rewarding. But now the other challenge that I've had as an entrepreneur is that I started 2 companies at the same time. It's like having twins, which is something that is not easy, but it's something that I'm already into it. And sorry, we have a blackout here, so don't be surprised as to why you are seeing darkness. Somehow the lights have gone off in our office. So I think that's the issue here, that yes, it is full of challenges, and the challenges have mostly been in terms of finding clients, especially at the beginning when we were just starting. It was difficult. Before we built our own brand, it was very, very difficult. But the challenge of the entrepreneurship side with regard to the microfinance is also very difficult. The collection is not easy. It's not easy to collect when you lend out money. That's the challenge that we've had.
These are amazing, wise words for everybody to really listen to. This is definitely experience in entrepreneurship talking. And the message is very wise and very practical and very powerful. Like you say, Miss Audrey Mwala, you have to have the stomach to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And then
don't try it if you are not ready. You will cry. Don't try it.
But we want our students. We want our students to. But like you say, you want your clients to dream big.
Yes.
And so you have to risk sometimes being that entrepreneur and challenge yourself.
Yes. So that's what I'm saying, that we encourage people to go into entrepreneurship, but I just want to warn you that it is not easy. Come prepared. That's all. And you need psychological preparation, because you find that you know, for example, I was the acting chief executive officer for the Public-Private Partnership Commission. And because of my position, everybody wanted to talk to me. You know, every time I make a phone call, before the phone just calls once, every CEO wants to talk to me. Everybody wants to talk to me because of that position. The moment I left and I became the founder of my own company, working in my company, when I call, you find that sometimes somebody hasn't responded to me, or sometimes they will just tell me, oh, I'm in a meeting, I will call you later, because they know that I am calling them on business. The other time I was calling them on the government's business. And that's the issue now, that you need to persevere. You need to know that you have to keep on doing it. You have to keep on going. And the interesting thing is that when you have persisted enough, now it's like a plane. You know, an aeroplane, when you go in an aeroplane, at the beginning, it's very rough, and you have to fasten your seatbelt. But then when you stay, when you don't jump out of that plane, you find that you take off, and then eventually you pass through some turbulence. But at some point, you get to a place where you wonder, is the plane moving? You just find that everything is stable, nothing seems to be moving. So that's what happens with that. Even for us, our journey has been very difficult from the beginning, but we are seeing that more and more we are having companies that said no to us at first. Now they are coming knocking on our doors. Actually, right now I'm sitting on 2 emails that I need to write after this training, where one of the banks, they want us to train them on a personal finance management. We have another one, they also wanted training on the Microsoft Excel. Now they are, so our strategy was to persevere and keep on doing the trainings to a point that we should stop knocking on the clients' customers' doors, but then the clients should now start knocking on our doors. And we are seeing that slowly we are knocking. We had a training last week where the client that we were training was our water board in Malawi, but it took us 3 years for that client to come. We are doing a training right now. I think we are finishing tomorrow. We have a 1-week training. That client, we have been knocking on their doors for 3 years. But now it takes 3 years for them to say yes. So that's why I'm saying that when you're going into entrepreneurship, you need to be ready, because some people think they will go into entrepreneurship and the same day they think they will invest, and then it's like they want to plant a mango tree today and the mangoes should just come out the same day. So that's the thing, that you need to be prepared to know that while you are waiting for the 3 years to end, how are you going to survive between now and then? So that's why you need to strategize, to persevere and have the backup. And then the backup to the backup.
Very, very well said. The key word, perseverance. I have thoroughly enjoyed your presentation, Ms. Audrey Mwala. I can see some other hands getting ready to be called upon to ask questions. As far as I'm personally concerned, I'm gonna leave prior to introducing some other participants. But the remainder of this wonderful symposium will be hosted by our dear Dr. Edward Lambert. But so far, right now, just before I leave, let me see. I saw some hands up.
No, we have to move on to the next presenter.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. So it's been a real pleasure, ladies and gentlemen. I am thankful to Professor Kenneth Mwenda, thankful to Dr. Victor Chenza, and also very grateful to you, Ms. Audrey Mwala. I'm gonna be leaving very soon, but as I said again, I thoroughly enjoyed every bit of this symposium, of your presentations, and I hope so it is for all our participants today. Thank you very much again, and be blessed, everybody.
Thank you so much, Dr. Falkenwalsi.
Thank you.
Ms. Audrey Mwala, people are asking if I can share your presentation in chat, and they would be able to download it and then view your presentation. Is that okay?
No problem. Yeah.
No problem. Okay.
Yeah, I have a lot of presentations. I'm teaching all the time. So
actually,
there are more.
Teaching PowerPoint presentations is another great workshop to teach on how to do PowerPoint.
Yeah, actually, we also teach. We teach Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word, and PowerPoint presentations. And
Excellent.
the interesting thing is, when it comes to Microsoft, everybody tells us that no, give us the Microsoft Advanced because we already know the basics. Then when we start the basics, they say no, we didn't know the basic. So it's very, very tempting to think you know until you start the training. That's when you see that I was simply using Microsoft Excel as a calculator. It is more than a calculator. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Audrey Mwala. Okay, that will do it. And so now we'll move on